I continually feel like it's just a bunch of different incentives lining up against each other. So they could have possibly went, okay, we'll make this, like, internally they're deciding a date, and there's like push and pull, like some person's going, right, we need to give them a month to level, and then someone else is going, but Ashes of Creation beta June 1st, and as I've been seeing in chat, ESO's expansion 1st of June. Apparently,
really?
Blackwood expansion.
Okay,
Apparently.
so that actually could be a relevant thing here, because Elder Scrolls Online is a bigger game than I ever thought.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of those games, it came out, and it was like it had its cool moments, but it was a bit naff overall. But apparently that game is really shaped into something.
Yeah, ESO Blackwood release date 1st of June 2021.
You see,
I really wish I'd thought of that and looked for it, because then I would have told you months ago or whenever that was announced, oh yeah, that's when BC's coming out. Like,
so on Steam, it's got 25k people playing right now.
nice.
All-time peak of 50k. I'll see. I mean, if I look at the graph, it seems like it's been doing pretty strong over the last while. So, I mean, yeah. I guess by going June 1st, they hit both Ashes of Creation. They also hit Elder Scrolls Online's new X-Pack. And they perhaps know that ESO is played by a bunch of people who just want to, you know, mill about the world. Kind of do like a lot of that, like, questing, journeying content. Which I feel like there are some people in the classic catchment that would be interested in that as well. So, right, I did not know that about ESO.
Me neither. Until
But that is definitely... Thanks for pointing it out in chat.
Yeah,
That's
cheers.
definitely like a little bit suspicious in terms of the timing. Now, people are saying that, you know, yeah, like, you could have leveled at any point. And I actually do agree with that. You could have leveled at any point. I think, though, that they also know that doing it in this way will be quite beneficial to them, right? So, yeah, it's as I said, if the Dark Portal Pass, if the character boost worked on Belvs and Draenei, then I think that would be the time to really be like, come on, boys, that's ridiculous. But because it doesn't, that does keep it being a bit more reasonable. It means, like, if you see a level 60 Blood Elf for Draenei, like, that has been manually leveled up, does actually, you know, carry with it all of that it should. I think just for a bunch of people, they would have liked more time for pre-patch. They would have liked a little bit more warning when TBC was coming. Blizzard didn't do it that way. And then I think when we actually look at marketing, PR, all of that stuff, it seems like Blizzard are doing their marketing cycle just in a very accelerated, fast fashion. And that is a little confusing to me. I mean, if they are timing this to compete with other products in the market, I mean, surely they knew about that stuff well in advance, which then makes you think, well, why would they only tell us, like, so close? Because it seems odd to me that they're, I mean, like 4 weeks is all of the heads up that people are getting. It does seem odd to me, but...
Yeah, I've got a couple of thoughts on that, and some of it's a little bit to do with 9.1, in that I think that maybe they weren't sure how to split up those two.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Until recently they heard, you know, okay, 9.1, when, like, just, like, hacking the team, like, when can we have this out? When can we put this in the schedule? And they finally worked out, okay, we can give you June 29th, we can give you the last week of June, as opposed to the, like, mid-July people were expecting. And then as well as that, they're not really finished with testing these things for TBC beta. It still has, like, is it like the rated arena test and some raid testing going on this week?
Yeah.
Or maybe they went on earlier this week or next week. I can't remember.
It's like
but
around, in and around now.
yeah, so it's the idea of, I think they're actually, obviously because it's a Burning Crusade, they're not really rushing it because it's going to be easier for them to make than Classic because they've got all the data there. They've got the engine. Everything's fine on that front. It's just these last changes and testing these changes they have to make. But I feel like they're definitely just putting it as close to the wire as humanly possible and not giving people the time because they really, really want their Q2 to look better than Q1. Even though, for all they said about Q1 being good, if you read between the lines, it wasn't quite as good as they would have hoped.
Well,
in a couple ways.
We'll get on to what that means in a little bit, I think, but yeah. I think Warcraft actually did post good numbers in Q1, and that's a lot of that's because Q1 does include January, right? And of course, the expansion came out so close to the start of Q1 2021. But what really drove their Q1 numbers to be great is Call of Duty. Because Call of Duty did incredibly well between the box sales, microtransactions, mobile, Warzone, stuff like that. So it was very much able to tide them over. And I think they then are in a situation where if they don't have Call of Duty being super popping as it was, and they don't have a really big WoW thing as well, because like they had a Call of Duty launch and they had Shadowlands coming out like in the same for Q4. They had the afterglow of that in Q1. I think they really don't want to run out of steam by Q2. So they probably want to do something like that. And then I guess perhaps Resurrected is like a Q3, maybe Immortal is a Q3 or a Q4. And then that's kind of balancing out the Blizzard release cadence for this year. Something like that. So yeah, I think in terms of timing, that's really the most we can get into it. We could kind of speculate all day and get nowhere because it's literally all just guesswork anyway. I think not ideal though, at least judging by the reaction of the community that this product is meant to serve, not ideal because they don't seem to be particularly pleased.
Yeah, I mean, what was the title of Asmongold's Treehouse video? Something along the lines of Blizzard are trying to kill TBC. All right, well, I mean, if he's saying that, it doesn't matter if it's true or it doesn't matter if it's just his opinion. That sitting with 500,000 views, you're like, oh,
bad luck,
right.
bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he, I think, thinks that Blizzard could be sabotaging it. And for him, I believe that's because Naxxramas came out quite close to Shadowlands in a way where they're cannibalizing each other. And then all of this weirdness of the TBC launch. Like, I'm not particularly sure about that because we all know that Classic has been a massive business line for Blizzard. So they wouldn't want to cock that up. I mean, yeah, simple as that. Like, just look at what it did to the number of WoW subscribers in that same quarter that like Rise of Ashara came out. The Classic's obviously a major thing for Blizzard. I've heard it on a bit of a grapevine that some of those big like job layoffs and stuff, some of the arithmetic that went into those involved basically them really, really underestimating how well Classic would do. So I feel like because Classic exceeded their expectations and all of that stuff, that they do know it's super important. I think this is just mostly typical regular ass bungles from them, combined with probably wanting to compete with Elder Scrolls Online. Now, there's the monetization thing to talk about as well. I should say thank you for the super chats, everybody. We usually go to supers in Control the Show, which we will do after the core news. There are one or two things, though. I mean, Zakharoth here says, there is one more thing people can do while waiting for 9.1. If they still want to play WoW, do a zone in Classic WoW, then, do the same in retail, see what changed. So that's one way to do. There's a few supers that are kind of related to, related to what's going on. I think that's actually a neat one because the zones really did change quite a lot, and because I didn't get to play Classic properly, one of the things I really want to do and like going up through my new characters is just seeing those old zones. Like, I mean, come on, Old Westfall. So that shit's pretty cool. Yeah. Also from Vin Thorne, I think this is one that just proves where a lot of people are feeling right now. He just said, my mates are pretty pro-Blizz to the point where one almost got a Hordes tattoo. They are done after seeing the TBC price and Ian interview. Which, yeah, like, I think that Ian interview was, in terms of, like, people's principles, stuff like that, I think that was, like, a straw that broke the camel's back a bit. And I think then, the camel's back was really struggling after the Ian interview, and then the TBC stuff and how price gouging, especially the clone, is. I think that has just... it's just disappointed a lot of people. And, like, it's absolutely not what Blizzard needs. They are so goddamn bad at public communication. It is kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's recently it's been a real pain in the ass because it's been an honest to God onslaught of just basically fuck the players. And it's not like in a huge way. It's not like this really, you're all like scum to us, but it's just these little things where you're like, okay, so we've got no content in one part. We're rushing content on the other part without any notice. So we're all left confused and we're now being pushed. As someone said in the chat there, they're being rushed to think about their clones. So they don't have time to set up what they want to do with their clones. They're kind of like, oh shit, well, I guess I'm panicking. I'll just pay for it.
That's actually a great point, that
Yeah.
there could be quite a bit of panic purchasing going on,
Yeah.
given the compressed timelines we're dealing with
Yeah,
here.
and it's like attributing that to them genuinely going, ha ha ha, these stupid players will get what's coming to them, is like, they're not cartoon villains, but the incentives are there for them to go, like, that's like a, not the sole reason, but if there's other compelling reasons, and that's like a little undercurrent beneath them going, oh yeah, actually you could maybe, you know, get this little extra benefit out of timing it here. Like, you know, someone says June 1st, that'll be the ESO, it'll be the Ashes of Creation, then just that. But it's 9.1, then this. When's the next positive thing that we're going to get out of Blizzard as like fans of World of Warcraft? Is there anything on the horizon outside of TBC being good with all of those changes that seem okay, and then 9.1 being good for a couple of reasons?
I mean, that's the thing. They really struggle to actually, they struggle to do an announcement and to do a thing without somehow messing it up a bit. And that was what caused so much of my frustration in the last stream. Like, for me, so much of that was like, Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, you guys know quite precisely what the player base are thinking and feeling and where they're at. How can you possibly come in here and bungle this so much? And it does just, it makes you confused. It disheartens you.